Happy Epiphany. This is my very stylish Sherlock Holmes hat. Yodas are here for no good reason. Um, yeah, I did a Sherlock Holmes marathon today. Because January 6th is accepted by many scholars to be his birthday. So I actually started the marathon last night, the 5th, but watched some of it today. Not as much as I had planned. We'll talk about that at the end, though. So I got this box set a few years ago. I think I got it at Target. It was only like $5. It includes 39 episodes of a Sherlock Holmes series from 1954. Did any of you know there was a Sherlock Holmes TV series in 1954? Because I did not. One thing that's a little disappointing is, like, this Basil Rathbone on the cover, Basil Rathbone on the spine, he's only in one movie. Oh yeah, there's 39 episodes and 4 movies. There is 24 hours and 16 minutes of Sherlock Holmes in this for you, so you could do a whole full day. But I chose to just watch the Basil Rathbone one. So yeah. Which was The Woman in Green. So yeah, it's growing up with classic movies, he's my first memory of the franchise of Sherlock Holmes, so it's kind of my default. One weird thing is this movie takes place in contemporary times, so it's kind of like Sherlock with Cumberbatch in that regard. Overall, I don't know, the movie seemed very dated, and it feels so much longer than 65 minutes. Not in a good way. There is a really cool effect. There's a hypnotist lady, and when she's hypnotizing people, she has like this little pool, and she spins stuff, and you could see the it was a cool effect. If you ever watch it, keep an eye out. Because, I mean, it had to have been an involved effect for the time. It wasn't simply their reflections. It was clearly, like, film, like, matted in there. Anyways, I think the hypnotist lady is the woman in green, but problem is the movie's in black and white, and they never actually say. So, was she, or was it like one of the murder victims early in the movie? Also, Professor Moriarty was played by a guy named Henry Daniell. He was just like a character actor who seemed to be one of the studio's like go-to guys whenever they needed a schmuck. He's in The Great Dictator as basically a Nazi. He's in Philadelphia Story, where he plays a character named Sydney Kid, where he is like a tabloid person. Kind of the 1940s equivalent of Rupert Murdoch, maybe. So yeah, he's always kind of a schmuck. But that's what they got for Moriarty, and he doesn't have, like, the gravitas to be an equal against Sherlock, in my opinion. Also, he wasn't really the bad guy. Like, he wasn't the guy murdering the girls that started the whole movie. Yeah, the movie was kind of meh. It was... I don't know. It's worth a watch, but maybe once in a while. Next up, I did the Robert Downey Jr. version. which was, of course, in Victorian times. One kind of funny thing is Rachel McAdams plays Irene Adler here. She also stars in Doctor Strange with Benedict Cumberbatch, who, of course, plays Sherlock on the BBC. But also appearing in Marvel films is Jude Law, who's Watson here. He was in Captain Marvel, by the way. Anyways, the previous film, The Woman in Green, actually, I feel like kind of influenced this one. It suggested a mastermind organization, but that one only showed the actual murderer and Moriarty and like one other person. It's like, oh yes, this dark cabal of 3 people. This one, however, it felt like kind of the same concept, but with the actual budget. There was like, 30 people or some odd. So it's like, yeah, that could be a conspiracy, sure. I feel the movie benefits from multiple viewings. The first time I saw it, I failed to see how he was deducing a lot of things, and it just seemed like a fast-paced jumble. But, this time I genuinely enjoyed it. That one. Oh yeah, and it only had, one featurette that was, a little behind-the-scenes thing. Next I watched Game of Shadows, the sequel, where you finally get to see Moriarty, played perfectly by Jared Harris. Yeah, in the previous film, he was just, in the shadows, and you could, make out his voice, but you couldn't really see him. I thought that was really well executed. But yeah, Jared Harris, you might recognize him from the Chernobyl miniseries. He's also the son of Richard Harris, the original Dumbledore, if you don't know his real name. But yeah, I didn't like how Rachel McAdams was basically a cameo, though. Oh yeah, I should have said spoilers. I'll put it in the description. Spoilers. Rachel McAdams is basically a cameo and then just dies. Kind of off screen too. They do show a flashback where they more a detailed death, but yeah, she just dead. She's in the movie for less than 5 minutes. Naomi Rapace, I'm not sure how to say her name. She was a nice addition to the cast. I mean, it's my favorite of her roles, but that's not saying a lot because it's only one of 2 roles I've seen her in. Stephen Fry in it, though, is absolutely perfect as Mycroft. He's perfect in everything he's in, but as Mycroft, peak perfection. Also, apparently, Stephen Fry is a huge Sherlock Holmes nerd. He was a member of, a Sherlock Holmes fan club when he was 10 years old, so he, was very happy to get this part, and I'm born for it. Anyways, where am I on here? Oh, one funny thing is, at one point, they reveal, that Sherlock doesn't like to ride horses, so they get him, a little kind of Shetland pony type, a littler pony. But the music that's playing in the background of this scene is from, 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. So, what, was it just supposed to be a mule in the original script, or they just think that music went with the somewhat silly imagery of full-grown man on a small horse? Also, there is a battle with the bad guys in the German forest that I believe one of the Avengers films, I can't remember which one, also had a scene in a forest that was kind of in slow motion. I think they might have taken inspiration from this because it looked very similar. Watch both. Tell me what you think. Um, Apparently, they are making a third of these films. It was actually supposed to come out last year, and it's supposed to come out in this year now, but it's didn't have like a poster design on IMDb, so this year maybe. Let's not hold our breaths. Yeah. So then I took a break from my Sherlock Holmes marathon, and crazy things happened in the world, and I did try to watch more, but I just couldn't really get into the fictional world. Unfortunately, all I wanted to do today was watch Sherlock Holmes. All I wanted to do was watch my favorite representation of Moriarty, which is in Star Trek Next Generation. It's perfect. Jared Harris, you're great, but I don't remember the actor's name. Dude in Star Trek, perfection. And then I wanted to watch my favorite Sherlock, Basil of Baker Street, and the Great Mouse Detective. But I did not do that today because I kind of felt I had to watch the train wreck that is the real world. Anyways, try to watch those shows and movies. Highly recommend. The Next Generation episode is called Ship in a Bottle. There's 2 episodes. I don't like the first one because it's got Pulaski in it. Not a fan. But the second one is very good. But yeah, Ship in a Bottle, which is Next Generation season 5, pretty sure, on Netflix, and then Great Mouse Detective is on Disney Plus. Unfortunately, I didn't get around to those. Maybe next year. Anyways, happy viewings. We'll see you later, hopefully on a more lighthearted, not influenced by dark things in the world. I wanted to get this out today because it's his birthday. So, happy birthday, Sherlock Holmes. I'm sorry I couldn't celebrate it as I originally wished. Bye.